You are all welcome, guys. Do you even know that the most dangerous time for stroke is the moment you wake up in the morning? But the shocking truth is something as simple as a single glass of water could save you from it. Just imagine a life or death being decided by a single zip. It is not a pill, it is not expensive at all, but it's just a single glass of water, and that's all it takes to save yourself, your life, your loved ones, and your future from sudden attack of stroke. Now, listen to the science-backed secret of how a single glass of water can save you. If this is the first time you are watching my video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like my video, comment on my video, and if you are a returning subscriber, I pray God Almighty will bless you. I remain that your humble brother and your friend Stephen Oluwatuminino. How can a single glass of water save you from sudden attack of stroke? Now let me tell you those magic secrets, the evidence-based and the science-backed secrets of how a single glass of water can save you from sudden attack of stroke. But meanwhile, let me tell you the scenario of this young man, the middle-aged man. He is a banker. He is 43 years old. On that fateful morning, this man woke up very late. He was now rushing for work. He dressed quickly. He rushed out of the house. He could not even take his breakfast. He skipped his breakfast. He could not take a single sip of water, and he made it to work. Just some few hours later, on arrival to the work, he was even working on a computer, sitting on his desk. He started feeling dizzy, feeling a kind of slurring speech, and suddenly, a whole half of his body became numb. He now collapsed, where he sat down. He was rushed to the hospital, but the funniest aspect of it is he was now being diagnosed of stroke, that is paraplegia to be specific. Now, this is to tell you how important a single glass of water can be to save your life, to save your brain, your future, and likewise your loved ones from sudden attack of stroke. This is not just a story, but it's an awareness to us how important a single glass of water can go far in saving our lives, saving our future, our loved ones, and most importantly, our brain. Now let me tell you the following science-backed secrets how a single glass of water can be as important as it is. Now, listen to this. What we call ordinary things are the extraordinary things. A single glass of water might look so simple, but it is very, very important, and its advantages can never be underemphasized. Remember, stroke is difficult to manage. It is better when it is prevented. Prevention is better and cheaper to cure. Let me sound it to you again. Stroke is difficult to manage. How I wish you know this. Now, the number one aspect of how a single glass of water can save you from sudden attack of stroke. Adequate intake of water help the blood function to flow very smoothly and to the various parts of the body. Do you know that whenever there is dehydration, the blood becomes very thick and it affects its flowing ability within the blood vessels. And when the blood is flowing very slowly because of its thickness, I mean increase in its viscosity, it makes it to be prone to clot formation, which we call thrombosis. And whenever there's clot formation within the blood vessels, especially the blood vessels that is supplying the brain tissues or the brain cells, there will be obstruction to the blood flow to the brain parts or to the brain cells. This will now increase the tension within the blood vessels, making the blood vessels to rupture, leading to the escape or leakage of blood into the brain tissues, which consequently result into stroke. But whenever there is adequate rehydration, that is intake of water, it makes the blood to be thinner. It improves the blood circulation, make it to circulate and flow very smoothly within the blood vessels, thereby reducing the risk of clot formation, reducing the risk of blood vessel getting ruptured, and likewise from the blood to be escaped or to leak into the brain tissues, thereby reducing the risk of stroke developing in our body. The second aspect of it is, do you even realize it, that the 75% of our brain constitutes of water? Whenever there is dehydration, that is inadequate intake of water, it makes the brain to shrink. It now affects the cerebral perfusion, that is the blood supply to the brain tissues, and likewise it stresses the neurons in the brain. But whenever there's adequate rehydration, that is adequate intake of water, it increases the brain elasticity, it improves the cerebral perfusion, and reduces the risk of energy crisis that might have taken place in the brain, consequently will have resulted into stroke. Listen to this once again. Let me tell you that whenever there's adequate intake of water or rehydration, it increases the blood plasma volume. Whenever now there is dehydration, that is inadequate intake of water, the blood plasma volume will drastically be reduced, whereby it stimulates the release of stress hormone and also vasoconstriction of blood vessels. And this all together increases the risk of increased blood pressure, which is a vital factor of stroke development. So whenever there is adequate intake of water or adequate rehydration, it now improves or increase the blood plasma volume, making the blood plasma and the blood to flow very smoothly within the blood vessels, reducing the risk of clot formation within the blood vessels, reducing the risk of blood vessels from getting ruptured, and also from blood leakage into the body brain tissues, thereby reducing drastically the risk of stroke development. Another one, do you even know that adequate intake of water helps the kidney function? It improves the kidney functions by flushing out toxins, as well flushing out sodium that might have been in the body and destroy the blood vessels and leading to development or sudden attack of stroke. But whenever there's adequate rehydration, that is adequate intake of water, it improves the kidney functions by flushing out all these toxins, flushing out all this sodium, which did mean there's a dehydration. It will have been retained within the blood vessels and within the body. And mind you, sodium have high affinity for water, that is, it do attract water to itself. And retention of water, of sodium in the body, and likewise toxins, will increase the blood pressure. And whenever blood pressure is being increased, the flow of blood within the blood vessels will become rigorous. That is, vigorous blood flow. It will be flowing under pressure, which increases the risk of clot formation, increases the risk of obstruction of blood flows to the body vital organs, especially the brain, and increases the tension within the blood vessels. The blood vessels get ruptured and escape or leakage of blood into the brain tissues, leading to development of stroke. Now, in the morning, do you know that the most dangerous time for stroke to occur is when you wake up in the morning? Let me tell you the reason. Whenever you are far asleep in the night, you are being deprived of water intake, unlike the daytime. And throughout this time that you are sleeping, all the body vital organs keep on working for you. So whenever you wake up in the morning, the body has already been dehydrated. That is, it's already lacking water. Thereby, the blood now texture will become more thicker. And this leads to slow movement or flowing of blood within the blood vessels, which increase the risk of clot formation and consequently stroke from developing. Now, another one I want you to know, which is the most important aspect of this thing we're talking about is, do you know that the water or adequate intake of water helps the efficient transportation of oxygen and nutrients to the various body parts and even to the brain especially. Now, whenever there's adequate intake of water, it helps the distributions of both the oxygen, the nutrients to the body various parts or various cells of the body and to the body brain tissues and the brain cells. Now, whenever now there is dehydration, there will be deprivation of the nutrient supply to the brain, of oxygen supply to the brain, and important functions, that is the important factors that plays a vital role in the brain function, thereby consequently increasing the risk of stroke from developing. Do you even know that the blood itself contains water? So whenever there's dehydration, it affects the blood texture, it affects the roles it plays, and it affects its function, and also it's important in our body. Now, the importance of adequate intake of water in the morning should never and never be underemphasized, and that is why we are recommending it to you. I am recommending it to you because it could happen to you, it could happen to me, it could be anyone else. Let's encourage adequate intake of water, especially in the morning. Let's make it our routine. Prevention is better and far cheaper to cure. How I wish you know how difficult is to manage stroke, how difficult is to manage diabetes and some life-threatening diseases. My brothers, my sisters, this is a wake-up call to every one of us. Let's try to, inculcate it into our lifestyle. Adequate intake of water. Its role can never be underemphasized. When you wake up in the morning, try to take at least a single glass of water. It goes a long way. It could have saved this man, the banker that I first cited the scenario. It could have saved him. I did mean he took a single glass of water. Who knows whether the slurring speech, the dizziness, all other symptoms he was manifesting before suddenly it resulted into paraplegia, that is before he developed stroke. It could have been managed, it could have been prevented. Maximum, he could have even been feeling a kind of headache, that maybe when he takes analgesics it won't subside, and that would have even motivated him to go to the hospital where it would have been early diagnosed and appropriate treatment would have been given. In addition to this, I encourage every one of us to go regularly for checkup. Regular monitoring of your blood pressure and your vital signs plays an important role in preventing you from potential life-threatening diseases, which are very common nowadays. Please, let's take this very important. And if you have benefited from this, my video, once again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like my video. As you are watching now, you can as well like and comment on my video. And if you are a returning subscriber, I pray God Almighty will bless you. I remain that your humble brother and your friend, Stephen Oluwatumininu. And I will always bring you whatever will make you happy, whatever will prolong your life, and I promise to always put smile on your faces, just as my name implies, Stephen Oluwatumininu. Thank you and God bless you for watching my video.